everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a tutorial for you going over my step-by-step foundation routine. And I do put a lot of steps into my foundation routine, even on a daily basis. And as always, make sure you subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and let me know if you have any tutorial requests. So if you would like to see how I do my foundation, highlighting, and contouring, make sure you stay tuned and watch my video. I have also combined this foundation routine with another makeup tutorial using the Smashbox Full Exposure palette. This is what it looks like. Very pretty palette containing 14 different colors. The bottoms are mattes, the tops are shimmer. So if you would like to see that tutorial, make sure that you subscribe because that video should be coming out soon. I am also wearing the Viva Glam Rihanna very pretty frosty red lipstick on my lips today with nothing else. So it's very pretty pigmented. I like it. Alright, we're going to jump right into it. The first thing I always do are my brows. One thing that you don't want to do is get foundation all caked up in your brows because then it just looks really bad, really unnatural. So I always start with my brows. And then if I am doing a heavier makeup look like I have on today, I will do my eyes first only because I have a lot of fallout. And that allows me to clean it up before applying my foundation. So before putting on foundation or any makeup at all, I usually will wash my face with toner. I usually only tend to really wash my face at night, but in the morning I will always use a toner. That is because my face tends to be a little bit more on the dry side. So using toner allows me to clean what is ever on my face still without over drying it. So after that, and this is the most important step in my foundation routine, I have to moisturize. And this is because, like I said, I am very dry. So the duo that I'm using at this time is the L'Oreal Youth Code Texture Perfector Serum. I love this stuff. It just gives me a little extra boost in my moisturizing routine. And then I will follow that with the L'Oreal Youth Code Texture Perfector Day and Night Cream. And I use this every morning and night. And then if my face is even more dry, I will usually tend to use the Josie Maran Argan Oil or the Peter Thomas Roth Oilless Oil underneath all of that to really just make my face very moisturized. If your face is a little bit more dry and you're not moisturizing, you could end up with dry patches on your face after applying your foundation, or your skin can tend to get a little flaky, and that's not very attractive. So I definitely recommend moisturizing before you put on your foundation. So the first thing that I do after I have moisturized is I will let my moisturizer sink into my skin, and usually this time I will start to prep my hair for whatever I'm going to do to it today. Today I just lazy day and have it up in a side chignon or whatever it's called, a side bun. There you go. So a couple standout drugstore primers that I have been using lately are the L'Oreal Revialift Miracle Blur. This tends to be a little bit more on the pricier side. I think I bought it for $16, but if you go to Walgreens, Target, they always have like a buy one get one half deal. And so I will usually, if I'm out of one of these, I will pick up whatever when it's buy one get one half. I think CVS and Kmart also do that. But the primer that I'm going to be using today is the Magic Lumi. This is also by L'Oreal. It's their light infusing primer. I would say if you are dry skin, go ahead and try this out. It gives your face kind of a little bit of a glow, and I think you can also mix it with your foundation as well to kind of give yourself a glow. If you are really oily, you might want to stay away from this one, only because it's going to give you that more dewy effect. So I'm going to be using this one today, and I'm just going to pump it on the back of my hand here, and as you can see, it's kind of a white, but it kind of has like an iridescence to it. And I'm just going to start warming it up with my finger on the back here of my hand, and then I will apply it to my T-zone and then work it out. So the next thing I'm going to do is use foundation, and because I use the L'Oreal Magic Lumi Primer, I am going to be using my favorite drugstore foundation, and that is the True Match Lumi Healthy Luminous Makeup. I would say if you are oily, you might not want to use this product because it does give a little bit of luminosity to the skin. I am in N3 Natural Buff, and I would say most of the foundations I buy are good for my skin. I've never bought one that was too dark, too light. I just kind of know which one works for me. So I'm going to take off the lid and pump it onto the back of my hand. And I usually use about three pumps, but I'm going to use a little bit more since this is running out. You can tell how much I like it. So now that it's on the back of my hand, I will use my F80 brush and kind of warm that onto the back of my skin. And then I'm going to start applying it in my T-zone and then working it outwards. Now as you can see, it's not the same color as my face, but it is the same color as my neck. I'm going to stay light above my lip and in the middle of my eyebrows because it can kind of cake up and look not very good there. And you always want to make sure that you're blending down onto your neck. I see this too many times where women will neglect that part and then they will just kind of have this huge line there. And you can bring it far down as the shirt that you're wearing that day, but I don't usually wear low necklines when I go to work. And you always want to make sure that you're applying your makeup and foundation in really good light. Obviously the best is natural light, but I more recently switched over my bathroom lights to, I think they're called natural light bulbs, and it's made a world of difference in putting on my foundation and the rest of my makeup. So once it's all blended into your skin, you can kind of see how much coverage that really gave me. I would say it's like medium to heavy coverage, and that's kind of what I like in a foundation. So the next thing I'm going to do is apply my concealer. When it comes to concealers, there's a couple that stand out to me. I've used a couple in the past that I've really not cared for, including the L'Oreal True Match Lumi corrector, and then also the Maybelline Fit Me. I will say that I do like the Maybelline Fit Me in a more skin-toned color. Oh my gosh, this cat. In a more skin tone color, and I will use that to cover up my blemishes. As you can see, I have like a third eye today and then some other problems going on. But the two that I really like are the Maybelline Instant Rewind. This is what it looks like. I did take off the sponge applicator. Apparently you can get a lot more product by using that, but obviously keep the sponge on if you like to apply it with that. But my absolute favorite, and this tops a lot of my even higher end concealers, is the Hard Candy Glamoflauge Heavy Duty Concealer, and this is in light. You can get this at Walmart. I'm not sure where else you can get it from. I don't know. But I absolutely love this, and I know they say that there's bad stuff in hard candy, but I haven't really looked into that as much, so I've just really been loving this. It is super thick, and it blends out so well. It does not crease up on me throughout the day. I have heard other people saying it creased up, but it might just be because of different skin tones or you're not setting it with anything. But I love this concealer. It is my holy grail concealer. And as you can see, I don't really have too bad of dark circles under my eyes, especially with just foundation on. I could probably get away with not putting on concealer, but I really love a very highlighted under eye look. That is the look that I tend to go for even on a daily basis. But if you tend to have more dark circles, you're going to want a concealer that is more salmon colored. I know that the Napoleon Perdis, I think it's the One concealer, is a salmon colored, and I know you can get L'Oreal, some L'Oreal concealers that might be salmon colored as well. So if you are using a lighter product on dark circles, you're only intensifying them. You don't want to use a lighter concealer on those darker circles under your eyes. As you can see, after you apply your foundation, your face is very one-dimensional, and I will highlight and contour to kind of bring back that more 3D effect in my face. So that is why I do those things. And I know it's kind of an unnecessary step, but that's what I like to do in my foundation routine. Alright, so I'm going to take this tiniest amount of this Glamoflauge here, and don't mind my chipped nails. And I mean, the first time you use this, if you are going to go out and get it, you're going to put way too much on your hand. But I will probably use this amount of product to do my face. And of course, I am using my other holy grail brush, and I can't believe the difference this makes in my foundation routine. But this is the Tapered Kabuki F86 brush. This is also from Sigma. I love this brush. It applies concealer so well and blends it out. Love it. So I'm just going to tap into that and apply it under my eyes here. And as you can see, it is a lot lighter than my skin tone. But like I said, I like a very highlighted under eye look. And then I'm just going to begin tapping it under my eyes, not necessarily sweeping it out yet. But then when I got it where I want it, I like to bring it out past my eye here. And that's kind of the more Kim Kardashian effect, I guess you could say. The other side here. And you can bring it down towards your nose if your nose tends to be a little bit more on the reddish side. Still have a lot of product on my hand. And then so once you have it where you want it, I usually take the brush and then I will begin feathering it outwards to blend into my foundation. I don't wash it with, okay, so once I have that done, you can choose whether or not you want to highlight down the center of your nose, your forehead, your chin, wherever else you like to highlight. I don't do those things on a daily basis, but I will do them if I am going out or if I know that there's going to be pictures taken. So I will take my brush and I won't put any extra product on it, but I will go down the center of my nose here. And then you can go onto your forehead and then even over your brows to highlight those as well. And just make sure everything is really blended out. And then if you want to do your chin, you can do that as well. And then even your Cupid's bow. I look a little crazy, but that's okay. I do not set my whole face with powder. I use bronzer, and I think that does the majority of my face. But I will go ahead and set my under eye concealer. And a couple standout drug products that I have been using are the Maybelline Fit Me Pressed Powder. I like this a lot. I am in the shade 230 Natural Buff. I also like the Revlon Colorstay. This is Pressed Powder Fair. It's just called Fair. But my favorite right now is the Rimmel, and I think this is super cheap. Don't quote me, but I want to say it was like only $3 or $4, and you get quite a bit of product. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Long Lasting Pressed Powder. This is in Creamy Natural 011. The only thing I don't like about this is the packaging is just really, I don't know, a little cheap. But I set my under eye concealer with the Real Techniques contour brush. As you can tell, I don't contour with it, but I'm just going to tap it into here. I'm going to just begin pushing it into my concealer instead of swiping it. And this will make it set and last hopefully all day long. And then once I feel like it's pushed in there, I will start to blend it out as well. Like I said, you can set your whole face with a powder, but I cannot because I am way too dry. Well, not way too dry, but just on the drier side. And it makes me just look a little too powdery. Good enough for me. The next thing I will do is bronze. I bronze every day. I just think it makes a whole difference. It makes your face look slim and I don't know. I just really like it. I haven't tried a lot of drugstore bronzers only because I don't have a good excuse, but I did purchase the L'Oreal Cocoa True Match powder. It's just a very dark powder, and that's supposed to be a good dupe for MAC's Blunt. But I wouldn't say that I've used a whole lot of bad bronzers either from the drugstore, just none that have really stood out to me. The one that I will use today, and this one is okay, it's a little bit on the muddy side, but it's supposed to be a good dupe for NARS Laguna. I don't think it is. It's a little bit more darker than that. But it's just the E.L.F. Contour Blush and Bronzer in St. Lucia. And I'm going to be using the dark side here. And my favorite brush to contour with at this time is an angled big fluffy brush, and this is Bedhead Heaven. I got this from where I get my hair done. I don't know. I really have a love-hate relationship with this brush. It's kind of a piece of crap, and the bristles kind of fall out, but I don't know. I like to bronze with it. But if you are using this bronzer, you're going to want to keep a very light hand. It is very opaque and pigmented. So I'm just going to tap this in here, and I always start at the top of my ear, and I will stay kind of back here, and then once I have the majority on the product on that, I will begin working it in, or forward. As you can see, it just gives a lot of color. You're not going to want to contour too much there or else it can get a little dramatic. Ugh. And if you get way too much contour on, you can just work it in and blend it in and it should be fine. But I'm going to go up onto my temples here. And you want to make sure that you're blending it back into your hairline. And then I will always bring it down here to match it to this contour down here. And then I will also contour my neck, down the sides of my neck here, and then also around my face. And this is going to make, if you have a double chin, make it look a little bit more smaller, and it's just going to give that shadow effect underneath your chin. Alright, I'm just going to take a huge powder brush. I think this is the Real Techniques powder brush. And I'm just going to go through, as you can see a couple lines here. I'm just going to go through and really blend out everything. Make sure you don't overblend or else it won't look like you put any product down. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is contour my nose. I tend to do this on a daily basis. It just makes my nose look slimmer, and I don't know, gives it more, makes you look more tan too. But to do that, I will use, if I am going out and I'm really taking time on my face, I will use a smaller brush, and I can't find where it is, but any kind of angled brush will give you that effect. This is the brow brush. I don't use this, but something similar to this will give you those small lines on your nose. But on an everyday basis, I will use the pointed foundation brush by Real Techniques, and I will use the side of the brush. Alright, so I'm just going to contour the sides of my nose, and I'm just going to pick up the smallest amount of product here because, like I said, this is very pigmented. And I'm just going to stop. I'm not going to go all the way up to my brows because if you don't really want this inner corner here really dark. So I'm going to start probably about right here and just draw a very straight line down. As you can see, it's very dark. Let me just pick up a little bit more. And I'm not going to blend out with this brush just because it's not intended for that, but I'm just going to take up a little bit more and place it on the tip of my nose here, and then also bring it back a little bit here on my nostrils. And to blend this out, I am using the Sigma F84 angled kabuki brush. And then I also sometimes contour my chin. So I will take that same brush and go into the divot in my chin here. Just like that. And then sometimes I will even go underneath my bottom lip to give it a bit more of a fuller look. And then once again, just blending everything out with the F84 brush. Just got really dark in here. Oh, there we go. Alright, I am contoured. And then, yeah. The next thing I'm going to do is use some blush. I always apply a cream blush first, and then if I want even more of a blush, I would put a powder blush on top of that. But for cream blushes, I love the Maybelline Dream Bouncy blushes. I have them in 4 different colors. Fresh pink, I think this is the coral one, plum wine, and then my new favorite is the hot tamale. Very reddish pink cinnamon look. Alright, so I'm just going to apply this with a stippling brush, and I'm going to be using the hot tamale color, and I'm just going to be getting it open first, and then pushing it onto there, and then blending it into my bronzer using downward motions. I also like the NYX cream blushes, but I only have hot pink, and I wasn't going for like a pink look today. But as you can see, it just kind of gives like a natural flush to the face. And you can leave it right here, or you can go in with a powder blush, which I'm going to do. Okay, so for blush, I tend to do more of a matte blush, especially when I'm wearing like a shimmery eyeshadow. I don't do that just because it's a little just too much for me. So, but a couple standout drugstore blushes are the NYX blushes. I love these, very pigmented. This is my newest color, Terra Cotta. I love this, especially when I'm doing a very dramatic eye. I don't want super pink cheeks and a dramatic eye. But another one is the Milani Baked Blush. This is in Luminoso. This is a very pretty, corally, peachy color. Love this color. What am I going to do today? I don't know. I also like the E.L.F. blushes. This is in Tickled Pink. It's kind of a peachy pink color as well. $3. I mean, you can't beat it. But today I'm going to be using the Milani Baked Blush. This is in Luminoso 05. And I always apply it with a Real Techniques buffing brush. So, I hate getting these things open. So, oh, well, I got probably way too much here. But I'm just going to pack it, oh yeah, pack it right over that blush. Blending it backwards. Oh my gosh, I put on too much. Okay, so if you put on way too much blush, you can always take a dual fibered brush like this one and really blend it out. So no panicking. Okay, so because I use kind of a more luminous blush, I will usually not highlight, but I will today for today's purposes. So the one highlighter that really sticks out to me, I have not used any other highlights, so kind of biased, but is the Physicians Formula Glow Pearls. Very pretty, and I will usually only use this one if I am doing more of a cool toned look, but I have more of a warmer look on today. But you can apply it with a fan brush. I like a fan brush, but on a day-to-day basis, I usually use the Real Techniques setting brush, which I will use today. So just tapping that on there, and then I'm going to apply it right on top of my cheekbone here. And then just kind of blending it into my blush. Ooh, see, I'm highlighted. I'm also going to go down the bridge of my nose. And because we highlighted, it's just going to give that contrasting look. And then you can also highlight the middle of your forehead, your cupid's bow, and your chin. I'm just going to do my cupid's bow. And we are highlighted. Alright, I am back with all my makeup put on, but I just wanted to go over a few drugstore foundations. I wanted to touch on a few drugstore foundations that I really like. I did not do drugstore foundation for the longest time. I thought that it was not very good, and when I got into higher end makeup, I ended up throwing almost everything drugstore that I owned in the garbage can. I actually went to a party wearing drugstore foundation, and this was the last time that I wore it. It gave me huge white cast on my face. I looked like a ghost, and I did not want to do anything drugstore after that. I stuck mainly to higher end makeup, but after watching a lot of YouTube videos, I really wanted to try to get back in there because it is a very inexpensive alternative to high-end makeup. So I'm going to go ahead and go over a few foundations that I absolutely love from the drugstore. The first one is a BB cream, and this is by Garnier. This is their Skin Renew Miracle Skin Perfector in light medium. It has a broad spectrum SPF of 15. I love this BB cream. I like this better than a lot of the more expensive BB creams that I used, including Urban Decay's Naked Skin, Boscia, and Dr. Jart. I just really like it. I think it gives a very nice coverage for being a BB cream, and I will tend to use this more in the summertime or if I'm kind of going for a no makeup look. But I've even heard of some men using BB creams nowadays, and I say, hey, if you want to do it, go ahead. But I already mentioned the L'Oreal True Magic Lumi. I love this foundation, probably my favorite foundation when it does come to drugstore. Obviously, I have not tried every foundation out there, but this one is definitely a standout foundation for me. The next foundation, and I have mentioned this quite a bit in my other videos, is the Neutrogena Shine Control Makeup. It says it has 8-hour shine control. I don't know if it's necessarily a mattifying foundation, but I like it even though I have combination skin. I'm not super shiny, but I do get shiny as the day goes on, but I love this stuff. I think it gives a very good coverage for being drugstore foundation. I did see Bethany Moda try this out, and so I did pick it up because of that. So YouTube made me do it. But I am in the shade Natural Beige 660. And the only thing that I don't like about this is it's just a kind of a pour out formula. I really wish it had the pump in it, just because I think it makes it more easier, a little bit more sanitary. Oh, excuse me, I got the hiccups as well. So the next foundation, and this one probably is better for if you are more oily complex, I would say, because it is a liquid powder foundation. But it is the L'Oreal Paris Magic Nude Liquid Powder Bare Skin Perfecting Makeup. And it does have an SPF of 18, which is always nice, but I picked this up. There was a lot of mixed reviews on it, but I found it to be a pretty nice formula. But you want to make sure that you shake this up really well, and then this one doesn't have a pump as well. It's just kind of pour out, but it is very liquidy, so you want to make sure that you pour it out slowly if you do purchase it. And the last foundation that I will mention is the Revlon Colorstay Whipped Foundation Cream Makeup. I am in the color 200 Sand Beige. And on the back here it says that it wears up to 24 hours, talc free and paraben free, which is always nice. And it says buildable to full coverage, and I completely agree with this. This gives very nice coverage, and I would say this gives a little bit of a glow, maybe. So if you are more oily, you might not want to try this, but I really like it. As you can see, it's not almost gone, but I like this, and I like to apply it with the brush as well. But 24 hours, I don't know if it would necessarily last 24 hours, especially if you didn't set it. But I really like this. It gives really good coverage. That concludes my foundation routine. I do have a separate tutorial using the Smashbox Full Exposure Palette, as well as the Viva Glam Rihanna lipstick. So make sure that you subscribe so you can watch that video as well. But I hope you enjoyed watching my foundation routine. I know it's a lot of steps that are involved with foundation and highlighting and contouring, but I don't know, I like it. I think it makes a difference in your day-to-day foundation routine. If you have a favorite drugstore foundation, make sure you let me know in the comments below. I love trying new drugstore foundations, and I'm always on the hunt for that new great foundation. So make sure you let me know in the comments below. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye. And I think you can go to the Sephora. No, I don't want to say that. Okay, let me start again. Lighter one. Right, so when it comes for puppy break. Okay, so because I used it's unnecessary, but I like to do it. Look at this cat. What are you doing, Bella? Do whatever the heck she pleases. That's a second puppy break. Whatever you call it. A very, I don't even know what I'm going to say.